Hello, welcome to the RotoWire DFS show. I'm Adam Zdroik, joined by Ryan Belongia to discuss Sunday's three-game slate at DraftKings. We have a weird slate, but we just got done with Saturday's matches. Ryan did not win 20,000. He got second in a couple contests, unfortunately. But I guess I didn't ask you. I assume you're still in the green for today, right? I don't know. You can't hear me. Looks like Ryan froze, but this this three match slate we have here is one of the crazy, I don't know, crazy is the right word, but a different slate than what we've seen in prior days, in the past week, really. We can see here on the cheat sheet, rotowire.com/soccer trial. You can get a free 2-day trial. Just go to that link, but you can get this cheat sheet. And we can see here Belgium is the biggest favorite, 47%. Croatia, 44%. Spain, 42%. So it's the first slate here that we don't have a favorite over 50% to win. Ryan, there he is. Ryan, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh no! It looks like we got Crystal Palace internet issues with Ryan. We'll see. Hopefully he can figure it out here. I don't really want to do this one solo here, but he is freezing on me. But so the problem here with this slate, Belgium are the biggest favorite, but their implied goal total is 1.48, and the implied total in that match is the lowest on the slate at 2.53. You got Croatia 1.50, Spain 1.61, Germany as an underdog is at 1.42, which is actually just under Belgium for the implied goal total. So this is a really weird slate from what we've seen. There's going to be, I have no idea what the public's going to do, because this isn't like a slate where we have like a Neymar, we have like a Brazil team, we have France and Mbappe, we have guys that stand out. I don't think this is a slate where guys actually stand out. I mean, I guess you could say that about De Bruyne, but I'm not sure he's going to be that popular as it is. But Ryan is here.
I
Ryan,
think I'm back.
okay. Is
I
the
cut out
internet?
when you.
Yeah, is the
No,
internet good in Crystal Palace, or what's going on?
I. um. Sometimes it's not good here. I don't know, dude. I'm. It's a long story. Anyways, it should be good now. I cut out when I think you were asking me if I was still in the green for the World Cup.
Yeah.
Uh, I think so. Fortunately, yeah. Uh, no,
I
yeah.
guess I
Obviously.
only I only meant for today, but I guess I
Oh,
mean
sorry.
for
I
the
thought
entire
you
World
were.
Cup. I mean, okay.
Oh no. Today, yeah, today still in the green for the day, but
All right.
yeah, just another tough beat at the end, another second place in the king of the pitch. Just sort of like killed my mood. I mean, not gonna dwell on it, but I was up like almost 30 or 25 against Messi, and I had Ochoa and Montiel, and they combined for 1 point, and I lost on that last assist. But anyways, yeah, continue with this slate. Not gonna
Yeah,
complain about that.
I pretty much read off the odds. Do you have any early takes on these matches? I'll get into some of my thoughts on these a bit later, but just like general thought on here. I mentioned De Bruyne maybe being most popular, but maybe not. It's really hard to say who like the public's actually going to gravitate towards.
Yeah, my first take is that it's a bunch of low implied totals, like the lowest group I can remember.
Well,
Uh,
outside of the Spain Germany match, really, because that one's at
sure, like
3.03.
yeah, that one. Um, but like no team has a who's got the highest? Spain, 1.57. Mine
Uh,
might be a little behind. Um,
yeah, 1.61 is the
one
update.
point. Okay, yeah, I see now. 1.61. Okay, well, that's the lowest we've had for the World Cup so far for the top team. Um, so yeah, I mean that Spain Germany game. I don't know. It might have goals. It might not. These other games.
Yeah, right.
um, yeah, KDB is still the first one I want to target. I feel like the public will feel the same way. I don't know. There's just there's not. It seems obvious. Like there's not a lot else. I mean, Luka Modric for cash games, maybe some other people, but yeah, I just don't think this is a weird slate. Also, like as far as the positions go, forward forward is going to be interesting to talk about because I don't.
Interesting or difficult?
I mean, you could argue that there's like no cash plays at all, depending on the Spain lineup. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I was gonna say this is almost like there's 5 to 6 midfielders maybe that you're comfortable with playing in cash games, but maybe no forwards that you're actually comfortable with. So yeah, I mean the Danny Elmo question is kind of what you're referencing here. So if he starts, but it's a third match, so I guess we have to look at the price difference here, what we're dealing with. So we got Danny Elmo at 8,600, Ferran Torres is 8,400. I guess there's a chance Murata starts at 7,600, but really the thought is that if Elmo doesn't start, it's probably going to be Sarabia up there, who's midfield only, and that's kind of where the problems enter because if you're already
Yeah,
looking at other midfielders, this is probably isn't going to be in your utility spot. You're probably playing Olmo as a forward.
right.
So at that point, like if you're counting on Olmo, you'd have to move to like a Germany guy or Ferran Torres. Would you be comfortable with having to do that?
Yeah, I think it'd be fine. I mean,
Okay.
I don't think there's that much difference between Almo and Farron. I mean, I know Almo took a few corners last game, but would Farron if Almo's not out there? I
He
guess
might,
would.
but actually,
Okay, right,
I guess if Murata isn't starting, Torres would also be on PKs. So,
right. Yeah. So no, I'd be fine. Yeah, I'd be fine doing that. So it's. I mean, it seems safe to put Almo there if you want to.
yeah, because otherwise it's kind of iffy. So, I mean, people put in Gnagbry last match. He had a floor of 13.8 points, three shots on goal, 6 shots. He had like one sequence in 30 seconds where he got 5 points because he had a shot assisted, a shot on goal, or something,
Yeah.
maybe back to
Six
back shots
points
on goal,
actually.
something
I
like
saw
that.
3 shots on goal in the span of like 30 seconds. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, there was like it might have been the train that was on Gnabry in that match because his ownership was pretty high in cash games. Again, I'm not going to go there. You take away that 30-second sequence, and I mean, I guess he's still fine at around 8 points. But are you
Yeah, and
looking
that was
at
a
any? That was obviously a different matchup, but are you looking at any of the Germany guys really?
no. That was a great matchup and it turned out to be a great script cuz they went down, right?
Well,
Yeah, they were
they're up and
chasing
then they
and
went
then
down, so they pushed like the
right.
final
Yeah, yeah.
10
Yeah,
or
I
whatever
mean,
it was.
it ended up being a great spot for Germany floor points. Um no. I never want to play anybody against Spain. No forwards, no midfielders. I mean, maybe we'll have a conversation when we get to defense, but yeah, no attackers for Germany, not for
Mhm.
me.
So we got Mishi Batshuayi, 7,300. I'm not sure if this is the matchup for him. I mean, we talked about him in that first game. He got the only goal. What he finished with 5 shots. So I mean,
Yeah,
that's pretty much to be expected. We can look at his goal odds here. It's still tops on the slate. So I guess people will still look at him, but I just don't know if I want to do that again.
yeah, I don't want to do that. I mean, he got bailed out last time on long ball over the top from Alderweireld. Um, I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people were disappointed until that goal just randomly came. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't want to do that for 7,300. I mean,
Yeah, I will say the difference here, like the Canada backline is just MLS guys in MLS. I mean, this isn't the Bash MLS show, but you look at Morocco, you got Romain Saiss, former Wolverhampton center back, and then you got Aguerd, who's recently signed with West Ham. You got these pretty solid guys here, and then you got the Canada guys that play for like Montreal and I don't know Nashville or something. I'm not. It's just not a one-to-one comparison to where like people were fine with Batshuayi on the last slate. I think that was just more because of the matchup. I'm not sure this is as good of matchup is kind of what I'm getting at.
yeah. I think it was priced to, what was he, like 6,100 or something? Now he's 73. So yeah, that's not really something I want to do.
Yeah, so we basically take the Belgium forwards out. I guess what it says, okay, Hazard the midfield only. We take those guys out. So we
Mm-hmm.
take Germany out. We have
Mm-hmm.
maybe one Spanish guy. You probably don't want to play two Spain guys in cash games.
Nope.
So we're left with Croatia, who, their forwards are all these guys are possible to be subbed off at 45. None of them are really stand out. Perisic is midfield only. And so we're down to Morocco and Canada.
Yep. Yep.
So that's kind of what we're dealing with here. So let's look at the let's look at the options for Morocco and Canada. And the question I think we have here is we got Junior Hoylett, who would have a split of set pieces, but he's going against Croatia. He's 6,500. And so Ziyech is midfield only. What would we look at for Morocco? I guess we'd only look at Enesri because he's 4,100. Is that what you're going with here?
That's what we got here. Yeah.
Okay.
Seriously. Well, yeah, and Nesri, yeah, 4,100. I mean, obviously he's like the opposite of a cash play, but he's going
Honestly,
to be
you
by.
just go him because he's so cheap, right?
Right, exactly. It like doesn't even matter. You could take a zero there if you have the right construction, I feel like. I still wouldn't want to do it. As far as Hoylett, I don't want to do that either. 58 minutes, and that's about what I would expect from him all the time.
Four
But
passes. Whoa, not very good.
yeah, I mean, the same price as Jonathan David. I mean, give me Jonathan David over Hoylett.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Look, he took 7 shots and he's going to play 90 minutes. I mean, if you got to do it, I'm just saying if you were going to if I had Junior Hoylett in my lineup, I'm playing Jonathan David instead 100% of the time. I mean, maybe I'm in the minority on that, but I don't want Junior Hoylett's 4-point floor.
no, I do agree with you. That was my initial build here has David in it instead of Hoylett because, well, first off, I actually think this matchup is more difficult for Canada. Croatia just seems like they played a better together than Belgium, so I'm not sure like if you're actually hoping for, Hoylett to have all these corners, all these crosses more than he did last game. So I'm not sure that's actually going to happen in this one. So I wouldn't bet on that,
Yeah, that's how I feel.
but yeah, otherwise, whew, in tournaments, play wherever you want. In cash games, get one Spain guy and just dinky down to the bottom here,
I
or
mean,
or go with David, I guess.
there's not even any other options between, like, is there even another starter between Hoylett and Nesri? I don't believe so.
Yeah,
So
it's like a 2K difference there.
from 6,500 from Hoylett, I don't even think there's another starter.
If like
Um,
Vlasic started, I guess.
Vlasic, yeah, but he's about the same price as Hoylett. So yeah, it's like, yeah, you're just like playing it to get a different construction. It actually doesn't even matter. He could score a zero, or he could score a goal though. So that's why, like, he's the center forward. So it's not the worst thing.
Yeah, man, it's pretty ugly here. So is it almost a 2v2 here? If we go to midfield, you could go with Enesri and De Bruyne, or you could go with David and like two of these 7K midfielders, kind of a thing. Is that popping up in your lineups at all? I'm just saying this because I don't have Enesri and I don't have De Bruyne in my initial build here. I guess what are your thoughts on De Bruyne? I guess
Yeah,
we should
no,
get that
yeah,
out of the
look,
way.
I get it. I just don't want to fade De Bruyne on this slate. I don't know. I don't know. I still want De Bruyne's raw points. I still think he has, he's got the highest ceiling the highest floor and still a big ceiling. I don't know. I can't fade De Bruyne here. It might be the better construction. Like, we have Luka Modric, 7,700, pretty good play against Canada. Hakim Ziyech, 74, decent play probably against Belgium. I mean, those are the two guys you're talking about. I assume you're probably talking about Kimmich too. So maybe I'm going to be in the minority on this one, but there's no chance I play Kimmich on this slate. But you try to talk me into it, maybe.
No, I got Modric and Ziyech in.
Oh, nice. I like that. Yeah, on the same page then.
But
Um,
I do think Perisic may be underowned if people are looking at what he did last game. But I think this is maybe not for cash games, but I think this is a pretty good spot for Perisic. He's most likely of whoever starts in the front three for Croatia to actually go 90.
yeah. I think it's pretty good spot, but not for cash. Too many. There's better. The options we just mentioned are all better.
Yeah. So Sarabia 6,600.
Yeah.
So I mean, with that, you're just kind of playing with fire here because you don't know if he's going to start.
Well, we might. I mean, we keep getting these lineups. We had the Argentina lineup before the Poland game. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's how I planned for all that stuff, and other people planned for it too. We knew the whole lineup, and it was like 99%
So if
before
we
the
knew
slate.
Sarabia was starting, would he be over any of these guys? Would he be like a utility option? Where would he fit in if he fits in?
I think he would be an option,
I mean,
right? I mean,
you'd have to say that he is because we're talking Olmo for 2K more, and Sarabia is basically would be playing in that same position.
yeah. And I'm just seeing what would you do at forward then? Still play a Spain guy?
I'm a big Ferran Torres fan, so
Yeah, I like him too.
I'd argue that because he came off early in a match that was over early, he's like he is maybe kind of being saved a little bit more than these other guys because Olmo went 90 in that first match, which is why everyone's projecting Sarabia to come in for him.
Yep.
Um, that's that seems to be the general thought. And I mean, Ferran Torres played 57 minutes in that first match because I mean that game was over by then. So I think it feels like maybe Ferran Torres is like the number one most important player in Spain's top three. Is that?
Yeah, it seems to change so often with them. Yeah, so right
Yeah.
now it sort of seems like that, but right now it does. Yeah, I agree. So what are we doing? Okay, I can't really come to a decision until we decide about defense. That's throwing me off. So okay, not yet though. Are there any cheap mids that are playable? You think?
Well, are you even considering playing cheap mids first off? Because I mean, we have
I
all
mean,
these guys who are from Sarabia on up that are, intriguing not
well,
only from like cash floor plays, but they have upside. Like Modric takes PKs. So,
yeah. Well, it depends about defense,
okay.
right? Right.
I mean,
So yeah, I take it the way you're talking, you don't want to play Alfonso Davies.
I have Alfonso Davies.
Okay.
I'm not sold on it. Again, I went pretty
No,
quickly when I did this lineup, but I think when I was just looking at this high end of defense, and he's not that much more expensive than these other guys. I think what he was 7,500 in that first game, and I mean
yeah,
people still
yeah.
played him. I mean we can see what he did. He got the yellow card and committed a few fouls, so that took down his floor a bit. But I mean 300 more than Hakimi. Apparently he's got a thigh injury, so he may not even start. So we'll see on that, but. I mean, Akimi against Belgium, 6,100, or like a Sosa here on the opposite side of Canada, 5,900. Would you look at those guys or just, go up 500, $300 to get Davies into your team?
Well, I think people will be looking at David Rahm as the other option. Um, like either him or Davies is what I would imagine.
Okay.
Um, I mean,
I assume Rom's going to be most popular.
I would assume so too. Yeah. Um, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, again, I don't like playing guys against Spain, but I get it with Rom. I mean, it's a pretty good price for a guy who plays on the wing and might take a few sets. I mean, might take a couple sets, but yeah, I don't know. I like Davies if I had to pick one. I just it changes the construction. Like I mean, I'm looking at a perfect lineup, but it doesn't have any Spain forwards.
I
So
mean,
maybe
I
it's
don't
not
know.
a.
Are Spain forwards
I mean,
needed?
sorry. Well, I don't know. Maybe they're not. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at a lineup with De Bruyne, Ziyech, Modric. Those are the three I want to play. Um, but it's tough. Then getting a Spain forward is you can only get a Spain forward if you don't play Alphonso Davies in that case. Um, so maybe like I'm seeing I can get a Spain forward if I play Rom. So maybe I just end up there. Um,
I think there's three defenders I'd look at least in this higher range. I would throw Juranovic in there.
yeah,
He's 4,600, and on the other side, Borna Sosa is 5,900. You're getting a $1,300 difference between fullbacks, and this match is arguably more favorable for Croatia than their last game against Morocco. Um,
yeah, I could. Juranovic is a good price. Um, I thought about it, and I guess I'm only thinking for tournaments. You probably shouldn't consider this stuff for cash games, but I just picture him fighting with Alphonso Davies like all match on that right side with Davies on the left wing. But it's fine for cash games. It's a good price and a good matchup for Croatia. Yeah, maybe I don't know though. Like, is so. I mean, is Davies a priority? Is or no? I don't know.
I'd say if we knew he was on PKs, I would say he's a priority, but he took
Yeah,
that PK.
it was
I don't
bad.
know. I don't know if I want to say he looked nervous, but the shot kind of seemed like he was nervous.
It was
And
not confident.
like this is a
Right.
guy who plays left back for Bayern Munich. He's never in these kinds of situations where like he's the best player on his team. He's taking a PK on a world stage like this. It just didn't look like he's going to be the
Yeah.
guy to take another PK. I'd argue it's going to be Jonathan David actually taking the
Yeah,
next PK.
wouldn't surprise me at all if I was David. If it was David, yeah, wouldn't
Though
surprise me at all.
did Eustachio take a PK for Porto in Champions League
I
when like
don't think so.
Otavio was
No, no, no,
injured?
no. I think it was. He might have. I don't. He might have. But I still think it would be Jonathan David.
Okay, David over Eustachio here.
I think so.
I'm just looking real quick. He had two goals, but they were not PKs. Uribe actually took over him. That was when
Okay.
Taremi was suspended. Yep. Okay, got it. Um, yeah, Jonathan David Evan is telling us he takes for Lille. So yeah, that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Nice.
So
Man,
that does like kind of remove some for Davies from becoming, I don't know, a must or
I'm maybe yeah. Um, maybe I shouldn't have written off Batshuayi.
oh no.
I just mean the lineup that I want to play has 7,400 left at forward. I mean, it's just like staring me in the face, but I can't do that.
Yeah,
But I mean,
you got Mueller.
no, that's even worse. That's even worse.
If Leroy Sané starts, he's coming back from an injury. I'm not sure he's ready to start, but if he starts, would he be in any of your tournament lineups?
Yeah, and like Sane actually for 7K, I would consider that in cash games, I guess. I mean, just because this slate's ridiculous, like you'd want Sane over Batshuayi, I think. Yeah, I just realized, like, forget what I just said about Batshuayi. He's completely out. Lukaku's back. Lukaku's like, if Lukaku doesn't start, he's definitely coming on.
Wait, is he back?
Yeah, he's like ready. I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
So just check. You know,
I could have sworn
what?
I just read something that said he was maybe in doubt for the third match, but I just read her update and yeah, he's training with the team. So okay.
So yeah, check if he's on the bench. Not that you would be playing Batshuayi in cash, but then there's no chance. I
That
mean,
basically
he's
remove you from playing him.
right. I mean, a good chance he could come off at half a lot of times when that happens.
If Lukaku started, would you play him at 8K in cash games?
I don't I don't think so, man. No, no, I wouldn't. You got to play a Spain guy if you're up in the 8K range.
All right, so we jumped around here, but back to defender. Well, I have a question here. So it seems like on a lot of these slates, this isn't like Premier League where it's like we have these defenders that you need to play. Like I think you were off of like Trippier yesterday. Like we don't have like these must plays outside of like Trippier against Iran or something like that where he was 6K something whatever. It seems like a lot of times like we get it's just go with like the cheapest fullback, go with like cheap fullbacks and hope for 5 points instead of spending 5, 6K on these guys who half of them don't seem to be like hitting value. I mean, I
Yeah.
say that and Hernandez went off today, but also it kind
No.
of seems like for center backs that in the World Cup, it's like some of these guys have better floors than what we saw in the Premier League because maybe there's more. I don't know if this is a true stat or anything, but it seems like there's more tackles and interceptions from like center backs because these teams just aren't that as efficient as like Premier League teams, I guess you could say. What are your thoughts just on playing defender and how to
No, I
attack
mean,
this here?
yeah, you're right. Um like I sort of mentioned it the other day, like I'm more looking for better spots, like where we see these matches. There are matches where there's a ton of floor points. There are matches where there's none. I mean, yeah, like Trippier the other day. You're right. I was off him for 7,700. That's just a lot in a match that's gonna go similarly to the way that match went, like pretty often. When what I mean is just there's not a lot of floor points for England in that game. Just with the way the USA plays, probably not a lot of sets. 7,700 is a lot. Like that's why I asked Jordan yesterday on the podcast who he played at second forward, and then when he told me that Pulisic was a mistake. I mean, think of that slate in your head right now, and if they ran it 100 times, which 2v2 would you play? Pulisic and Jacobs or Trippier and Crependiata? Like now that we've seen how that went, I mean, can you imagine playing Crependiata and thinking he has a floor in any spot? And can you imagine like, you know, Trippier only 1,300 less than Pulisic? Like they're in the same range. Like it almost seems crazy to me to be on the other side, but most people were. So what I'm saying is, you're exactly right. Yeah, I mean, some spots are good, but a lot of spots aren't. Like Matty Cash today. I saw people talking about it in Discord. You know, a lot of people fell for it again. I played him a little bit, not in my big stuff, but I fell for it a little bit too. I played him in cash. Um, Poland's just not good. They're not really going to dominate anybody. I mean, Qatar maybe you could play Matt Cash against Qatar, but yeah. So you're right. I agree.
So while you're saying this, I don't want to talk about crap and Diata right now anyway. So
I know, man. I know.
he had that early shot on goal, and then it was just the two forwards that scored for Senegal there. But so Croatia, I tried to look to see So Croatia's going against Canada. Canada's coach, came out and said we're going to try and f them up or whatever he said. He's in the Croatian media. Um, yeah, I mean Canada need 3 points. This is a spot where they're probably going to attack. They attacked a lot against Belgium. They're a very counter-attacking team. But as I said, I like Croatia's midfield better than Belgium, so I'm not sure how that's going to look. But we got Gvardiol and Lovren here, center backs who had pretty decent floors in that opener. And you just look at Canada as a team and just how they play. They play with speed. They lose the ball a lot. They don't have a ton of possession. Like their best player, one of their best players, Alphonso Davies, like he's not like that great of a, I don't know, possession kind of like he's still working on his technical aspects of the game, I guess you could say. So you got to think that there's going to be tackles, interceptions, that kind of thing for these Croatian center backs. You got Gvardiol at 2,900. You got Lovren 3,300. Maybe not for cash games, but maybe for cash games. Like this is kind of what we were talking about. Like, it depends. Is it worth it to pay up for some of these guys when you could get a 5-point +4 from the Croatian center backs here for 3K? So, I mean, is it crazy to play those guys in cash games?
I don't think it's crazy. No, I don't think their floor is maybe that high. I think, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. It's just in terms of paying down, looking for a spot to pay down. But I think we might get this guy on Morocco right in the first game.
Yeah.
If Hakimi's out, it seems like Hakimi's out. I mean, so like if he's
it'd be no Mazraoui if he's out.
He's out. Yeah, Hakimi might also be out, but yeah,
Right.
It looks like Mazraoui's out. So we have this 2,600 guy, Yahia Atiat Allah. Definitely never heard of him. He plays for a club called My Dad, based out of Casablanca.
Wydad.
Oh, that's how you say it?
No, it's
Wydad. Sorry.
It's with a W.
Sorry. Wydad.
Not your dad.
No.
Wydad.
Right. Wydad is who he plays for out of Casablanca, but it doesn't matter. I mean, 2,600 can play him, right? So I agree
Plug
with
him
you.
in. Is that it? Plug
Yeah.
him in, 2,600?
Yeah. And if he wasn't there, I'd be looking for, like someone like you said, like a center back in that range. Gvardiol. Yeah, do you know they got him valued at like 70 million or something, being chased by Bayern, Real Madrid, Chelsea. So like I never mind playing guys like that.
Okay. Yeah. That seems like a lot for Gvardiol, but I guess
He's a stud apparently.
I was just gonna look to see.
He's only
if, like,
20 years old. That's part of it.
Yeah. He's been playing with Croatia for a while. I was just gonna look to see if like Atiat Allah here has actually is like one of those center backs who's playing like fullback or something.
No, he's actually like a winger, I think, right?
Um,
Which is exactly what you want to see.
yeah, maybe. I think Opta has an incorrect lineup for this Morocco-Georgia matchup, so I can't really look at that.
I see left back, left winger.
Okay.
But I also see he's only ever played one time.
Yeah.
He's got one cap.
He has 5 goals in domestic leagues, so he can score. And for his entire career, he has 241 minutes played for Morocco.
Yeah. One official cap. He played in a friendly against Georgia and actually picked up an assist. That was just like a week ago. So lock him in.
Yeah, I mean we were looking at the Moroccan depth chart before the show, and it's like they have the center backs I mentioned, like Ziyech and Nezri, even Sofiane Boufal. Like they have these guys that on a national level, international level, but then you go to the bench behind Hakimi and Mazraoui. It's like these guys you just never heard of that may be forced to come into the starting 11. So. Just something to keep an eye on. Unfortunately, it's the early match, so like you can decide if you want to play Atiat Allah or whoever's in Hakimi's spot. It could be a situation where Morocco actually. There's been a couple times in this tournament where like the underdog has mirrored the formation of the other team. I'm not sure what that was. I think it was today, maybe this morning, But like we could see Morocco with 3 center backs and then maybe a couple guys playing in winger roles, like you said with Atiat Allah. So something to keep an eye on as well.
Oh
But
yeah, that's a good point. Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so I'd say like the 3 guys we mentioned here for cash games, and then Atiat Allah is down there, or if you want to go with the Croatia. Um, Goalkeeper, play whoever you want. Does anyone stand out for you?
Yeah, this is really kind of a play whoever you want for
All
keeper.
teams above
Um,
19% chance for a clean sheet. I don't
yeah,
think
and what?
does that happen often? Above
No,
19%? That seems
and no one above 36.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had that. Unai would be my choice. Your boy
Yeah.
Unai Simone.
Okay, I was gonna ask you to say his name. Okay, okay.
Unai Simon, my guy, man.
Oh, it's good. It even has the accent mark over there. Oh, it's definitely Simone here.
Mm-hmm.
4,900 going against Germany. Germany uh need to win, right? Is this a situation where they need to win?
Oh,
Probably.
yeah, probably, right? I mean, a draw, I'm sure they could still advance somehow, but
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, because you
I don't know.
figure like I guess Japan's that early match. If they win, if Japan win that opener, then that
Maybe this
puts.
is a spot where Germany beats Spain. I don't know. Maybe Courtois is just the best play. Are you gonna say? You're about to say Livakovic, aren't you?
Um,
I mean, no.
maybe.
Who's sticking out for you? Neuer?
I don't think
Maybe
anyone sticks out
maybe
for me.
Neuer.
I plugged Bono in because I don't like Belgium.
Yeah,
Um,
okay, that's fine.
but yeah, I guess
Anyone's fine.
Livakovic because if you have Canada attacking, and we saw Canada struggle to score against Belgium in that first match, it seems like all these North America teams don't have like this striker that can get goals when needed, like USA, Mexico, Canada. Like none of these teams have that guy who can go and get a goal. And I don't know how many shots on target they had against Courtois, but uh, yeah, I do like
They were
Livakovic.
unlucky not to score though. I feel
True,
like,
true, true.
but you're right. I mean,
I guess Courtois
Jonathan
only
da-
had 3 saves, but
Jonathan David's a top player. He can score. Um,
yeah, I mean, we're kind of just talking here. It's like pretty much all these guys. We're kind of saying the same thing for all of them. It's like, well, I kind of like this guy. I kind of like this guy. Any of them makes sense, and that's kind of what the odds say. I guess it's really in cash games. It's just put in whatever fits.
yeah, whoever you can afford, definitely.
Yeah, and then in
I
tournaments,
have no preference.
just do the Morocco. I'd do the.
I think you could play Borjan too. I could see Canada winning this game, man. I might be on the Canada side.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we might be opposite on this one. Croatia is old.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a ton of faith in Croatia,
But I agree with what you said that their midfield is
but
that midfield core is solid.
you look at that midfield, and you look at Atiba Hutchinson, 39-year-old starting for Canada in the midfield.
Oh, you don't like to see him in there.
You're talking about age, and then you got the 39-year-old.
Yeah, you don't like to see him in there. Right? Yeah, you're
So,
right. That's not good. Yeah,
um,
I agree. I do like that midfield three of Croatia.
yeah, I mean, you just look at Croatia's attack. It's just you can't trust any of those guys. I actually maybe trust like David more than anyone in the Croatia attack.
That's
I
what I
guess
mean.
maybe
Like,
outside of Perisic.
yeah, I watched that Croatia Morocco game was tough to watch. If I
Yeah,
mean if yeah.
it was one of those games that was tough to watch.
Mhm.
So for these matchups here, Belgium don't. I guess they'd be playing Croatia next. Like we had a situation today. There's been situations for like England, USA, Argentina, Mexico, where it's like one team won, and they don't need to win this second game here because the next match is maybe more favorable, something like that. We had that with England, where it's like they kind of didn't really put anything into that USA game. They're fine with taking the scoreless draw, really.
Yeah.
And then kind of for Mexico today, they put out this lineup, which was, 3 center backs, a little more defensive. They knew that they were just going to crowd the midfield, not allow opportunities for Argentina. And sure, Messi put one in from about 25 out, but you got these certain matchups where like one team needs to push, the other team is fine with just like playing off the counter and that kind of thing. So did any of these matchups like kind of go with that game script? Because we do have Spain heavy on possession, but Germany need points from this match. Canada need points against Croatia. So does anything play to that game script?
Yeah, kind of that Spain game, right?
The problem is that Spain is the one that enjoys possession. So do you think it's just going to be like Germany just kind of really going all out?
No. But I just, that game has the highest total. But I don't know. I could see it being.
Spain just passes it around, right?
I could see that. Obviously it can also go the other way because like Germany is that type. Germany is like the team that could push Spain into a different kind of game. Like if they're up for it, Germany can score on Spain, and then that would make the game back and forth. But yeah, I've seen Spain a lot of times just sort of control the game and pass it around a lot, and their guys don't have many floor points. They don't take many shots, and then all their attackers get subbed off in like the 60th minute. Yeah, you see that quite a bit, but could also have some goals.
Yeah, I'm actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder if like I'm not sure Fulkrug is the correct move here. Just because they probably want someone who can actually run around a little bit more than him. He's more of like the focal guy you cross to in the middle kind of a thing.
Yeah, sometimes, I hear you, but sometimes it's nice to have a guy like that, like to try to hold it up, just to get yourself out.
Yeah.
Like you see like a team like Mexico with those small guys up there, you can never get out. I mean, you can never pass them the ball. So sometimes having a big guy in the middle, you can get out of trouble. Some teams like to do that against a team like Spain or Man City or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree in terms of that matchup. It could be scoreless where Spain just is fine with, maybe allowing a couple shots, that kind of thing, but just kind of controlling the match, almost playing like. What if this match turned out like the USA-England game? Would you still not want anyone on Germany? Just because you don't really have like that Pulisic guy who's on all set pieces and PKs kind of a thing, where it's like Kimmich is still, kind of a defensive role, and Raum's still there as well. So
yeah, and just because Spain is just such a different team than England. I mean, like I don't see any team just like bombarding Spain with possessions and chances. Like, but you can do that to England. The U.S. couldn't do that to Spain. Couldn't have done what they did to England to Spain. I don't think.
Yeah, I probably agree.
Maybe I could be wrong though. This is just my opinion.
I mean, England had to put Jordan Henderson in the second half. I mean, maybe not need is the correct word. They did, and I guess it helped him at times. But
yeah, Southgate thought they needed to. he did.
That was pretty. That was kind of funny, but
yeah, like bringing on Jordan Henderson to save the day against the Americans. I mean, what a move.
Yeah. All right. So how are we going to win tournaments? I don't even know if we've given good tournament options here. It's just kind of this Spain Germany match.
I'll tell you how to win tournaments.
It could be, okay.
And it's the same as most slates, but it's
Croatian center backs. Got it.
No, it's just something in general, but this slate especially. I mean, you need to separate what you're doing in cash games and thinking about in cash games. This is not Premier League DFS. This plays, for the most part, much differently than Premier League DFS. Like, there's just fewer locks and smaller floors. In general. I mean, I mentioned it with Jordan yesterday, but we keep seeing it over and over again. I mean, how many floor points did Messi have at half? I mean, 2, 3? I honestly don't know. Something like that.
Wasn't
And yeah,
high.
he scored with his one chance from 25 yards out and assisted with his one shot assisted. I mean, how many people were wishing? How many people were like kicking themselves for playing Messi when everyone else smashed and Messi's sitting there as the highest owned guy on the slate? 2 points. We saw what KDB did. We saw what Trippier did. None of these players are locks. So what I'm saying is, you need to script every game. How are they going to go? Figure out which one you want to fade. Focus on the other ones. Pick one that you think's going to have the most floor points in it. Play plays from that. Find one team that you think is going to create chances and score goals. Play 3 attackers on that team or something. Like, you see these games where entire games bust, and it's just like, there's such an edge because there's, yeah, I don't know. People play the tournaments like we play Premier League DFS tournaments, and these are, at least so far, playing much different than that. And I don't think it's like a fluke or like a small sample or anything.
Is that why I haven't won 20K yet? Probably.
I mean, you got to get really lucky too. That's part of it. Now, I guess to talk about specific things, yeah, like I mentioned Canada. I don't mind playing some Canada, but I kind of like this first game, to be honest, too. Like, I mean, you can make a case, like it maybe is a strong word. You can make a case for any of these games. I'm just trying to not say the Germany-Spain game because that's going to be the most popular, right?
I
No,
guess.
I mean, maybe not. I don't know.
I don't
I honestly
know.
don't know.
I don't
Like,
know,
this
yeah.
slate is so weird. But I think it would be, and that's a fine option. You know, that's the most likely game to like end up back and forth.
Yeah, but just based off the odds, probably will be. And they're the 2 biggest teams, so that makes sense.
But I mean, like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't want to say exactly what I'm gonna do, but more focus on one game being back and forth and maybe finishing 2-1 or having a few goals. And one of the other games is 0-0, and you know,
I mean, I think we're in the. I'll give my exact strategy here. I think we're on the same game here. We just have these games. We have the Spain game where it's possible that maybe that one is scoreless because Spain's already a possession team. The Belgium game too, with Morocco, where Belgium, not in a must-win situation here. They're fine with a draw, really. You look at this Canada.
Until Morocco go up 1-0, right?
Of course. I mean, yeah, you could say that about anything, really. So
No, sorry. Go ahead. No, you finish.
I'm just going to go to Croatia and Canada.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking
Yeah.
at. So Croatia are a team that they love to cross, and while they are older, maybe slower, Canada plays as fast. They play off the counter, and they also not that great defensively. Fine defensively, but they will give up opportunities, and I think that one is maybe not most likely to go up and down, but no, I'll say it, most likely to go up and down because Canada are done if they don't get points out of this one. They're done. And they're already a team that's not really like built to just sit back and kind of let Croatia dominate kind of a thing because they're not going to be able to stop Croatia for 90 minutes if they're sitting back kind of a thing. So I would go with like a Perisic. You'd go Modric just for the PKs. You can look at those full backs. I mean, you could really look at any of these guys. I'd look at everyone in the front 3. Everyone. I'd look at Perisic, but even like Kramaric, that kind of thing. Like Croatia love to cross. Kramaric is only 6,900. We haven't mentioned him. Like this guy is maybe most likely to score for Croatia, and if they're crossing it in there, Kramaric is a guy who, I don't know, at Hoffenheim, he has scored 4 times in one match for Hoffenheim before. And then, I mean, if you want to go with like a Davies or someone from Canada, that's kind of what my favorite tournament move is.
Yep. I support that. I'm going to be on that game too. Yeah, the one other thing I'll be on, and sometimes I let the slate dictate like what I'm gonna do as long as I'm okay with it. And we mentioned and Nesri and the price difference between him and every other forward. So like you take him, Ziyech, they combine for the first goal, and then you have De Bruyne so in that same game. So that's a nice little three, and Nesri, De Bruyne, Ziyech. And you can add another Belgian player if you want. You don't have to.
Hazard.
Obviously, that's what I was going to say. I mean, many people are off Hazard.
Uh-oh.
I'm willing to give it another chance.
Oh.
I'm not saying. Look, I'm fine if you never want to play that guy again. I'm okay with it.
I
but I'm not going to give up.
I cannot wait when he win 20,000 with Hazard. That's going to be.
I'm not going to give up.
It's going to be incredible.
Not yet. I don't know. I agree. He hasn't looked great. He hasn't looked great for Madrid, but there were a couple glimpses he had it in that Canada game where
he drew 4 fouls.
Yeah, but and there were like a couple chances where it could have been better. Like he was playing further forward than I thought. He like had some chances where he almost got through or almost played a guy through, or like KDB just missed playing him through. Like and all it takes is one of those for 4,600.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fine for tournaments, or you don't need any other Belgium guys. You can just have like Nesri, KDB, Ziyech. That's a nice little three. And then with your other spots, you play Canada and Croatia. Jonathan David with a Croatia forward, or Jonathan David with Luka Modric, or some Davies and some other guys. So that's a route. And yeah, then of course you can fade these two nasty first games and hope nothing happens, and then that Spain-Germany game finishes 2-2. That also is something that could happen.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's all we got here. You can find Ryan at Ryan Belongia. I am at Zdroik. Zdroik. That's on Twitter. RotoWire.com/soccer trial. Free 2-day trial. But we're still, halfway through group stages about. We still got another week of group stages, I want to say. So we'll be back tomorrow. I believe it's me and Jack Burkhart on the show. We'll be doing it a little earlier on Sunday morning. Ryan, good luck on the 20K. Maybe I'll win it one of these days, maybe not. But
I think you will. One of these days. Keep grinding. I never thought I'd win 20K. But
I stopped playing the main, to be honest, unless I feel really good about something. But maybe I'll start again sometime. Maybe it'll be tomorrow. Once I get that Kramaric goal. Kramaric, sub 10%. Brace. Why not? Why not? All right. Thanks for listening. And we'll see everyone tomorrow. Good luck on Sunday, Slate.
Good luck, everybody.